Abbey Mayer's Northtown Neighborhood News Magazine, a presentation of Sonny Hirsch and myself, ntnm.org. All our videos are on YouTube. We're on in Chicago, Evanston, and 35 North and Northwest suburbs at various times. Go to NTNM for show times, and you'll find links to all our shows on YouTube over the last 8 years. Community Policing, KEPS24.org. It is a pleasure to reintroduce you to somebody who hasn't been on the show for a bit. The Clerk of the Circuit Court of Cook County, Dorothy Brown. How you doing?
I'm wonderful. How are you, Harvey?
Good, thank you. Thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you for having me.
And, we've never talked about this on the show before, but one of the things that you do every single year that's a really big deal is you have an expungement summit.
Yes.
So, okay, tell us, or tell me in particular, how I can get expunged.
Well, the clerk of the court is responsible for accepting expungement and sealing petitions on a day-to-day basis.
Actually, I think we should tell people what expungement actually is.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
So if you have a nonviolent offense, usually misdemeanors, it's sometimes a felony, but felonies, usually you've been found innocent or you were, not charged and arrested and not charged and that sort of thing, then you can actually get an expungement. And an expungement means that your record is wiped clean. The police department, the state's attorney, the Illinois State Police, all of them can actually give you your record and you can take it home and tear it up.
Nice.
Now, the clerk of court, we maintain your record, but we have to take it out of our database. We have to seal it away so that people can't get to it easily, but it can be brought back up through a court order. Now, sealing, when you seal a record, that means that everyone does the same thing that the clerk of the court does when we seal things away. They don't give you a record. It doesn't go permanently away. It's just taken out of the computers, sealed away in your archives, and you still have to have a court order to bring it back up. And when a person gets something sealed or expunged, they can actually say, no, I have never been convicted, if in fact that's expunged or sealed on their job applications.
Yeah, kind of like when I was doing 93 and a 30.
So it gives them that second chance in life, RV. That's what we're trying to do. Help people be aware of the fact that this law exists, that they can actually get these nonviolent offenses expunged or sealed, especially juveniles. People that committed juvenile offenses when they were young, just like George Bush, he had that youthful indiscretion when he was...
That's putting it mildly.
Right, exactly. Well, the law says that young people that have these quote-unquote youthful indiscretions during their juvenile years actually can get some things expunged when they turn 18, Class B and C misdemeanors and petty business offenses. And then when they turn 21, they can actually get everything expunged except for 3 things. There are only 3 things that they cannot get expunged off their record. Now that's if they don't have anything else going, if everything has been cleared off of their record and they don't have nothing has occurred in the last 5 years, then they can get everything expunged off of their record with the exception of 3 things. First-degree murder, which you, of course, sexual offense of a minor, and actually a DUI. Those 3 things they cannot get expunged off of their record ever.
That's an interesting priority.
Exactly. But everything else they can actually get expunged, but not enough young people realize it. We have 15,000 youth actually arrested annually, but we have like 600 this past year that actually requested an expungement. So there's something wrong with that. Something wrong with those numbers.
Yeah, no, a lot of the stuff is youthful indiscretion is a nice way to put it. A lot of people can say there, but for the grace of God go I. So
absolutely.
I certainly remember being at some very interesting parties in the old days, and anyway, there were a lot of politicians there too who were actually in elected office now. You weren't one of them.
No, I wasn't one of them. But yeah. So what we do though, since we can accept these applications, petitions actually they're called, on a day-to-day basis, annually I actually hold an expungement summit on a Saturday. The chief judge actually gives us a court order, making it an official court day so that I can accept applications, formally accept petitions for expungements, and they can file them right at my summit. We have our cash registers there. We have our you can get your certified disposition there. We actually have attorneys there to actually complete the applications for them. Yes, volunteer attorneys. We train the attorneys. We have a couple of training sessions coming up now. You can go on our website if you'd like to be a part of the summit and volunteer. We have training sessions that are coming up so that you can actually be trained as to how to do expungements. And so we have judges there also. Last year was the first time we had judges on site to actually rule whether or not a person is indigent or not, because we found that a lot of people would not afford to pay. And so we would have to give them their application, and we would have to say, go next week to the judge and get them to rule you indigent, and then you can bring the application to our counters, and we accept it for free. But we decided to reach out to some of the judges to see if they would actually come and be on site to be able to do those rulings so people can actually file.
That's very nice, actually.
Yeah, yeah. And so it's a phenomenal event. We have the state's attorney involved. The public defender trains our attorneys, and they're involved. Cabrini Green Legal Services is one of our major contributors as far as being there, contributing their time, and really helping us with the entire summit. We have the Illinois Appellate Defender there. They come and they deal with individuals that are from other counties. So just in case a lot of these young people go to college downstate and they get into trouble downstate. Well, we have the Illinois Appellate Defender there to actually help them complete those applications for other counties, and then they can, of course, mail those in. We have the Illinois Prison Review Board there, because if you don't qualify for an expungement through the court, we don't want you to leave and not be able to be helped at our summit. So we usually have at least 3 members of the Illinois Prison Review Board there, and they actually they don't hear the cases, but they explain to individuals as to how they can go about completing an application for an executive clemency from the governor.
Wow.
So it's huge.
So no, that is huge. And the governor. So yeah, the governor could pardon people also.
The governor can give them pardons and expungements, and so we have the Illinois Prison Review Board there, and we usually have some attorneys there with them, because believe it or not, the majority of the people that come actually fit in that category. We have over 30,000 people a year coming back from our prisons, and once you've been to prison, pretty much the offense that you did does not qualify for an expungement through the courts, but it may qualify for executive clemency by the governor. And there's a certain waiting period. They like for you to have been clean and not really done anything and rebuilt your life, started to go to the church or the synagogue or whatever the situation might be, whatever your religion might be, so that you have good references, and then you are able to then apply to the Illinois Prison Review Board, have those references there, and show them that you turn your life around and that you're not at risk of committing a crime again. So they explain all of that to them as to how to go about applying.
That's interesting. That's a lot more complicated than I would have thought, to tell you the truth.
It is.
But no, it's very inclusive. I mean, you've got people like, other than 3 things, basically, people can I don't know.
For the juvenile, that's for juveniles.
All right.
Adults is a lot different.
Yeah, so in other words, if you just robbed a bank and you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, forget it. Would that be accurate?
That would be accurate. You can come for the Illinois Prison Review Board, and they may, and if you turn your life around, they will be able to explain to you how to go about requesting an executive clemency or pardon from the governor. But also, there are several other remedies that the state legislature has actually come up with. They have something called a certificate of relief from disabilities. Now, a disability, something is considered a disability when you've been convicted of a felony, because in the state of Illinois, when you're convicted of a felony, you don't qualify for your license as a barber, as a beautician.
Really?
To do as a gardener. Yes, there are many things.
That's right, those are licensed professions.
As an animal trainer, there's several licenses that you don't qualify for. So the law was passed to permit you to request of the judge at the time in which you're not going to be, if you're not going to be incarcerated, you can ask the judge the same day. For instance, he said, we're giving you supervision. Then you can request the judge the same day to grant you a certificate of relief from the disability of having this felony, which would not permit you to get your license. And if the judge grants you that certificate, you can take that certificate to the licensing agencies, and they will then actually let you have your license. So you have that. We have a certificate of good conduct. That's when you don't qualify for expungement or sealing. You have a felony that does not qualify for either. It's a nonviolent felony, however, and you only have usually just one, and you have turned your life around, and you may be waiting for the period that has to pass before you can qualify for a sealing, and you can actually request a certificate of good conduct. And they can grant you a certificate of good conduct, and you're supposed to be able to take that to your employer and show the employer, any potential employer, that you have a certificate of good conduct, and they're not supposed to discriminate against you. So I'm not sure exactly how well that works, but but at least you're being honest with your employer, your potential employer.
Well, at least that helps some. At least that some sort of effort was made as opposed to catching it out of the blue. I don't know that I ever knowingly hired a criminal, but who knows?
And then, of course, they have the certificate of innocence. And the good thing about the certificate of innocence, and I was looking at that gentleman this morning in the newspaper that's suing the city and the state's attorney and all of the prosecutors that were on his case, and suing the detectives and the police officers that arrested him, because after 27 years they found out that he was innocent.
Oh yeah.
And so he's suing everyone for those years. And so he actually has a certificate of innocence. The court can issue a certificate of innocence now. It used to be you had to go to the court of claims, the state court of claims, and that was the only way that you would be able to recoup any money. But now the court can actually issue a certificate of innocence, and now you can recoup money, the amount of money that the state has in its fund for people that are wrongly convicted and that sort of thing.
Yeah, we're starting to run out of time, and we haven't told people when this is.
When this is. Oh, the Expungement Summit is Saturday, June 7th. It's at the Living Word Christian Center. Saturday, June 7th, Living Word Christian Center, 7600 West Roosevelt Road, Forest Park, Illinois. I want to thank Pastor Bill Winston and the Living Word Christian Center for permitting us to have the summit there. So that's Saturday, June 7th, Living Word Christian Center, 7600 West Roosevelt Road, Forest Park, Illinois. Doors will open at 8:30 a.m. and close at 6 p.m. So come on, as long as you get in before 6, we're going to be able to help you.
Thank you very much, Dorothy Brown, Clerk of the Circuit Court of Cook County. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
I want to thank you for being here. I want to thank my entire technical crew, Sonny Hirsch. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Bye-bye.